Hello and welcome to Our Spirited Life, with spirit meaning our vital animating essence and life being our very existence. We are here to engage and inspire you with enlightening, humorous, and sometimes irreverent or even raw conversation around real life issues. Our experiences may have gifted us a few wrinkles, I don't think in Anna's case yet, but we've also gained wisdom, strength, humility, the ability to laugh at things which maybe would have made us cry some time ago, and the desire to make a big difference to those who still struggle with life's challenges. My guests share how they've created a truly successful and spirited life and their journey to reaching this, which has always ups and downs, as we all know. Listen to the very end for some top tips and a fabulous music choice. So, welcome to this week's issue, where I'm delighted to introduce Anna Daphna, who's an ADHD and executive function coach, qualified teacher, and psychologist. Wow, Anna. Anna coaches people with attention, organizational, and emotional challenges to maximize their confidence, happiness, and performance. Just wonderful. Anna, welcome to our Spirited Life podcast. We are speaking. It's good to have you here. We're speaking online. I'm in Cheltenham, so please tell us where in the world you are.
I'm based in London at the moment.
Oh, great. Have you always been in London? I can't think so. Have you always?
Originally from Greece.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm originally from Greece.
Ah, do you miss it?
I'm happy here. I'm very settled. Have been here for 11 years, so
Yes.
I consider it my home.
Yes.
It's a place, feeling, and a vibe that consists of, having your soul tribe, having your friends, your loved ones.
Yes,
and
yes, yes. Because yes, they could be anywhere in the world, couldn't they? So, but what about the sunshine? You miss the sunshine and the sea?
Well, in Greece, the sunshine is a bit too much. I mean, at the moment it's 30 degrees and we are in June, which is good. But when it's August, it can go to 50 degrees and I cannot work under that circumstance. It's good to go on holidays, though.
Yes.
Definitely
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Yeah. Wonderful. Anna, I do have some questions for you. And in fact, before we go into that conversation, you have the most wonderful vision, mission, and other statements. But your vision statement reads, we are contributing towards reduced inequalities, better health, better mental health, and world-class education for neurodiverse children, adolescents, and adults. Well, I would say bravo, Anna. Where did this come from? This desire? What started you?
Yeah, so for a long time I have been observing neurodivergent people feeling unseen, unheard, and missing important opportunities in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I have ADHD myself. I wanted to mentor them because I think it's important to give not equal opportunities, but the right opportunities so people can thrive in a neurotypical world.
Yes.
Because at the moment, the world is not made for brains that are wired differently, that can give so much, though, to what we need at the moment.
I love that description, brains that are wired differently. And I did wonder if you had experience of one of those things yourself, because don't they say we teach what we need to learn? And it makes us so authentic and heart-centered, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it started when I was a teenager. At school, I had focus challenges. I could not focus very well. I was constantly daydreaming. And if the teacher was good, though, I could focus and be very good at that subject. But all depends on the teaching approach, on the learning style. And unfortunately, not all people are equipped to do that. And especially for neurodivergent children and adolescents at school, they feel so unseen, so not belonging, or something is not.
And that's not just going to affect their learning, it's going to affect their inner confidence as who they are as human beings, isn't it? So do you think, obviously we're much more aware of neurodivergent children and people now. And you, of course, are helping with that. You're bringing this out and making people aware. You say you have an insatiable desire to help people who need it the most. So when and how
Mhm.
did you start your journey to helping people with ADHD and dyslexia?
Yeah, so it's dates back to 2003 when I started working with a child that had dyslexia and ADHD. At that point, so he had challenges with academics, emotional challenges, and
Mm,
confidence issues. He did not believe in himself. Everyone told
mm,
him, "You're lazy. You cannot do that. You don't put the effort." But it's not because he was not putting in the effort. It's just because he was wired differently. His brain was very very fast. He was thinking 1,000 thoughts at a minute, and that does not help with his confidence and to do well. So I
mm.
started working with Constantine, and we worked together for a long period of time, which is important to have this consistency when we
Yes.
deal with diversity.
Mm.
uh, this work needs some pace and momentum to see the results. And after 5 years, he ended school and he entered law school, which was, what his parents did. But most of all, he believed in himself. He was not academic, so he could not read and write very well. He took all his exams orally with some accommodations, but he succeeded in doing
Mm.
what he wanted, but most of all in believing in himself more, which was
Yes.
amazing
That's
experience.
extraordinary because law's an incredibly tough subject anyway. Um, so
For
that's a wonderful achievement, and also must have given you confidence in the efficacy of what you're doing.
That was a test, indeed. It was my first
Yes.
class in
Yeah.
Greece.
Yes.
So I started in Greece. My first education was education. So I was a qualified teacher, and then I moved to the UK to study psychology, and then I studied coaching and self development and life coaching and NLP and Reiki and many many different things and business. And I did a lot of different things, and I blend all these together to coach also adults at the
Mm,
moment
mm, mm.
that are neurodiverse.
And when you're coaching, there must obviously be a difference to children, adolescents, and adults now, or because they have the same challenge, is what you're doing with them the same, but just they are, one's older than the other. What am I trying to ask here? You probably know. Can you reply? Can you
Yeah.
enlighten us on that?
So for children from 8 to 12, let's say, is more play based. So
Of course.
yeah, so it's more play based because when you play and learn things, it sticks better because you remember things better because you have fun. You are very present, right?
Mm, mm,
Um, so people with neurodiversity have underdeveloped executive function skills. These are skills, higher level skills that we need to be successful in life, such as
mhm.
planning, prioritizing, organizing, working memory, emotional management, self-control, um, starting something on time, finishing the project, sustaining their attention,
Mm.
being flexible and adaptive to what life throws at you, and to be self-reflective. So all of these skills can be taught through games. So it can be done in a developmentally appropriate way. For
Mm.
example, for adolescents, it could translate into self-confidence a lot, and to study and revision skills, how they can chunk their projects, essays, how
Mhm.
they can organize the essay, how they can develop the points, how they can plan their life, how can they manage their emotions, because that's a big thing with
Huge. Yeah.
neurodiversity.
Yes. Yes.
For adults, also is the same things. It's just confidence, executive function skills, and emotional regulation, and that can apply for business. How to, motivate your staff, how to plan the day operations, how to have everything in place, how
Mm.
to communicate well and
Mhm.
appropriately, how to communicate appropriately with your spouse, your partner, so they understand what you need. Asking for what you need. Assertiveness is a big one as well.
Yeah.
Um, the,
Gosh, this
the,
sounds
what,
something that everybody could do with, learning rather than those who are neurodiverse. It just sounds amazing. In fact, you stole my next question then, because was saying you offer numerous coaching methodologies, and I was interested to read about executive function coaching. And my
Mm.
instant thing was, oh, you teach executives as well.
Yes, I
And I
think a
just,
lot of business
right.
owners and
But it's actually not that at all. It refers to, as you say, executive function skills are a predictor of future success. And so
Mhm,
you've just described everything that we need in our sort of package to be able to be
mm,
successful. And I guess that's
mm,
successful in your professional life as well as your personal life, because they're equally important. If I actually think personal life is terribly important, because then you can succeed and thrive in whatever you choose to do.
mhm. You need to have a solid foundation
Mm,
emotionally, and the executive function skills are the CEO over the brain. So it could be translated to, if I can plan, prioritize what's most important for me, if I can align my values to my life, so I'm more congruent and authentic, that's
mm,
success. And that
mm,
has to
mm,
do with prioritization. That has to do with intuition. That has to do with feeling your body and getting its intelligence, and just to not to say always yes, and just to
mm,
be true to who you are. That's things
mm.
that
Boundaries.
people find difficult, especially if they're neurodiverse and have been masking their symptoms all of their life to feel that they can fit in and
I was
belong.
going to, yes, was there something specific which prompted you to go into this really important field of work? And I guess that's your experiences as a child and at school. And was that particularly challenging?
I had performance anxiety and perfectionism, and I wanted to do well, but I couldn't do so well because I was emotionally, had meltdowns and before the exam. So it's the most important thing, because exams, for example, is not a time for learning. It's a time for retrieving the information, and a time for resting, and a time for self-care. That is every day, of course, but in order to retrieve the information from the long-term memory to the medium and short-term memory, you need to rest and just retrieve.
So all this, I can remember, revise, 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 push yourself and almost punish yourself before exams. Do you think exams are a good thing anyway? Because those with a great memory can just do so much better than those who learn and absorb information in a completely different way. For instance, I'm very visual. And
Mm,
so I could probably remember what somebody was wearing a year ago, but I might not at a party and somebody brought it up, but I might not remember their name.
yeah.
And so it's very, very different. And again, we are now very aware of all of these different forms of learning. And so, how
Mm.
for you did you tackle leaving school and then learning at a much higher level? When you were learning, you were learning for yourself as much as training to help others, weren't you?
I followed my interests. That always helps if you're interested in the subject. And you need to know your learning style. Some people are auditory, some people are visual, some people are kinesthetic. Some people just do this magic trick, like they put the audio of something they need to learn when they go to sleep, and that goes to the subconscious, and they remember things after. There are many different tricks that you can use in order
Oh, that's
to do
fabulous.
well.
Can that work for almost anyone? It's worth a try, isn't it?
If we are auditory, for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, sometimes before we go to bed, our subconscious, when we are sleeping, is more open to suggestions,
yeah.
and it can work for a lot of people. Not
Oh,
everyone, but for a lot.
that's amazing. I remember when we were children and we needed to get up early if we had a horse show to prepare our horses for or something. I used to bang my head on the pillow, not hard, but the pillow was whatever number I needed to get up, and it always worked. So maybe that's a sort of some kind of message, and perhaps
Mm,
it's also
yeah.
believing. Mm, mm.
It's about the
How? I'm sorry. Would you say that again?
It's about that we believe that we can succeed in whatever we're doing. Either it is business, either it is our job. For younger people, could be university, could be exams. it's about the identity also, and the identity can be uh, built. The identity you're building through small successes that are everyday successes is like investing in yourself. 1% per day is like compound interest in yourself, and it's about the identity, not the end result, because the end result you might see years later.
This is so fascinating. Going back to the children, would you explain how you might tackle a certain challenge through play? So if you've got somebody who's very ADHD, how would you work with them? And are they sometimes not wanting to be there with you? And how would you cope with that? Because I can imagine these children are very challenging is the wrong word because it's not their fault. So how would you work with a child who's troubled, perhaps, or upset like that?
First of all, there needs to be rapport between
Mm.
whoever works with the child and the person, and for all age groups.
Mm.
Because if there is the trust and chemistry, there won't be much results, and based on evidence from studies.
Mm.
So once we establish that I wanna work on these goals, I wanna talk about this, and I wanna explore this. That's the first step. After that, you can tap into the child's interests and make it fun
Mm.
and build all this. Yeah, you can
Mm.
plan a trip to space. You can prioritize what you need to do. You
Mm.
can come up with ideas for challenges and how
Mm.
you can do your life. So role playing, a lot of imagination and creativity can pay
Fantastic.
dividends.
So to keep the momentum going with working with the children, do you need to work with them more frequently than you would say perhaps for a working adult?
Definitely weekly. If that's a possibility, yes.
Mm.
This work needs some rhythm momentum to build the
Mm.
skills, because neurodiverse brains need more iterations, more repetitions to build the habits that somebody else can build in 21 days. They need at least 66 reiterations. So we also need to be compassionate and aware of how this works. So more repetition for a habit to become subconscious,
Mm.
and
I
many ways
always
to build.
Yes. I always hated doing homework because in those days, it was a long time ago, it was very dry. It was always essay or writing, or it was just all in our exercise books.
Mhm.
So do you give them some form of homework, and do you even call it homework?
Always in coaching, they have tasks. If they're ready for it, for all age groups, and because it's practical.
Mm.
But if
Mm.
they're not ready for it, we can not have tasks for a few
Tasks, that's
sessions
a
and
good word. Because they
working.
can take that word through into their work eventually, and there's always a reward for tasks, some of which is actually doing it well because
Mhm.
you've put your focus and attention to it. The other
Always.
thing I must say is that you have a very calming voice and demeanor, which must
Oh,
be very helpful with what you do.
thank you. I try.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So how can we actually heal our ADHD nervous system?
Mhm. According to the polyvagal theory that has to do with the vagus nerve is the longest nerve of the
Yes.
main nerve of our autonomic nervous system that stems
It
from the
goes
brain.
from somewhere here all the way down.
Yeah,
And is it the only one that sort of connects to almost everything? Can you enlarge upon that? Because I vaguely remember, and it was so fascinating to hear.
it's the main nerve that connects all visceral organs of our
Okay.
body.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the polyvagal theory, ADHD is a nervous system dysregulation. So there is sensory dysregulation and there is emotional dysregulation because the vagus nerve is not regulated. And that's a somatic therapy. That's a somatic approach. If we heal the nervous system, if we find ways to connect, ways to retune the nervous system and the vagus nerve, then our emotions will be more manageable, and then we will focus better, we will remember better. We will plan better. We will execute better. So we will be more successful and more grounded. Because if there is a disconnect, our brain and our body are disconnected. How can we do any of this anyway?
And you can actually heal it. So how do you heal it? Or how do you heal ADHD nervous system?
Yeah, so there are many different approaches. One that has a lot of studies of 40 years is the Safe and Sound Protocol. This is a listening therapy that Dr. Stephen Porges invented, and is a listening therapy that you can download an app. You can have a playlist that you like to hear. Is a 5-hour listening therapy that resets the nervous system slowly and progressively.
All in one
And
go, 5 hours all in one go.
no,
Oh.
you need to do it with a trainer. I'm trained in this as well. You need to do it with a trainer because the nervous system are very sensitive, and some people could be very sensitive in 2 minutes. So you need to check if they're appropriate for this somatic therapy. That's a somatic therapy, a bottom-up therapy. And to make it bespoke, to find a playlist that is not triggering, to find the right time to do it, to have the volume at a specific volume, so it's not too loud. A lot of things that to work with somebody, and to talk about any trauma or anything that can come up. Because if you work with emotions, things can come up. Because everything is stored in the body.
This is
Everything is stored.
amazing. And I love, because I always ask my podcast guests to send me 3 questions that they would like me to ask them, because it gives, I don't know everything about you and your subject. So I love this one. Thank you, Anna. How can we view neurodiversity as a gift?
I think the world since 2020 has changed dramatically. And what we need now is brains that are thinking differently and can do something better, because things were not working as they were before. So thinking differently need to be seen as an advantage. Of course, it comes with challenges that can be worked on, but nobody is perfect. So when you're thinking outside of the box, when you're a fast thinker, when you're so creative, innovative, you don't have to fit in a pigeonhole that does not fit you and feel inadequate, because loads of people have been feeling like that. And this environment will help you to thrive. So the environment is the most important thing, to put yourself in environments where you can thrive and you can use your strengths to make a difference. All the challenges you can manage or leverage or delegate things that you're not good at. You don't have to be good at everything.
Oh, yes, delegate. As a self-employed person who at the moment does everything, and it's delegation is wonderful because we can't possibly be good at everything. And it's also being kind to ourselves to know that we can't be good at everything and can't do everything. Interestingly, I think I heard a few years ago now that the British military were specifically taking on neurodiverse people because they have such a fantastic different way of thinking and approaching things. And also this is a lovely one. So Anna, to you, I'm sure our listeners, our audience would love to hear what the secret to having an inspired life.
Yes, so I just wanted to add one point to the previous question.
Yes.
A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs who have made such an impact in the world are neurodiverse.
Yes.
Richard Branson.
Yes. Yes. I remember I heard about Richard Branson that his headmaster said to his parents, and I'm hoping this is right. Please don't sue me, Richard, if it's wrong. But that his headmaster said to his parents, he will either end up in prison or a millionaire.
Yeah.
And I mean, amazing what he's done, and also what he does for people too. So was there something more on that you wanted to say?
Yeah. And I just want to say, so things, awareness is building up very slow. But in LinkedIn, for example, there is a skill called dyslexia thinking at the moment. So this is a skill because you can think completely different and find solution to problems. So these are skills that people should be proud of. I could be proud of, not should, but could be proud of. And it's important that that they feel, that they're contributing in their own unique way.
Unique and special.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Were you going to say any other people who are hugely successful?
Dyslexia. Elon Musk, I think he is neurodiverse. Many people, most people that are neurodiverse are business owners.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And
I read his mother's book not long ago, a couple of months ago. A Woman Makes a Plan.
mm,
May Musk, what a story. So that's a really good book. And it includes about her children and his childhood. And he was the one who always wanted to, he was very sciencey and very wanted to, I think, play also. If you're allowed to be you, when
yeah,
you are a child at home, it's harder at school because they've got a classroom full of them. But if you are allowed to be you, that must make such a difference for your
yes,
growing up and
yeah, and
development.
because you get to know yourself better, and because you get to know yourself better, you know more what you want and what you need, which makes you more authentic. And when you're more authentic, you're less likely to please people, to fit in, which makes you happier,
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely.
There's
And
always
that's
need to
actually something that people who are not neurodiverse could also, you know, work with. And
yeah,
so this is a very cheeky question, would you say that you are healed now from your ADHD?
I'm not on any medication. So I manage everything holistically through just being in nature, meditating, taking things slow,
Mm-hmm.
leaving some gaps between my thoughts and taking action. Doing the safe and sound protocol, this listening therapy I told you previously,
Mm-hmm.
being around people that are good for your nervous system is a key, because there is co-regulation happening. When we feel with mirroring, we can be dysregulated in the presence of others, or we can be regulated. And that's a good indicator. How did I feel after speaking with this person, after spending time with them? Did my energy go up or go down?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Musical instruments also help. Many different things, high level routines like good quality sleep, consistent sleep,
Mm-hmm.
hydration, diet, exercise,
Mm-hmm.
sunshine.
That
That's
is
very, very
hydration. I don't think many people understand the importance of hydration. I really don't. And I don't, even then when they know it, they still don't do it. I don't understand it. I think it's just hugely important. And all through this conversation, listening to you and what you're saying, medication hadn't even popped into my mind. And so
okay.
I guess that many of the children particularly, but I don't know, even adults that you go to work with or who come to you for help are on medication.
Most of them are on medication, but that depends on the level of neurodiversity that you are.
Yeah.
If you have deep neurodiversity, I'm not against medication because I can see the benefits. It's just the medication covers the symptoms. And
Mm-hmm.
the symptoms could be something like, I don't want to be told off. I want to be unique. I want to do things my way. Or I want to acknowledge my emotions, recognize them, and manage them. And if I mask them, suppress them, that's the
Mm.
definition of depression. If we open the dictionary, Oxford
Yeah.
Dictionary,
Mm.
depress, suppress.
Yes.
So it's about these vital skills that we feel ashamed to say that we find it difficult to be vulnerable, or to say that I have difficulty to share my issues. I don't want people to mine, manage a lot like that.
And what I have a friend, or I have a number actually, who have children of various ages, and I understand that it's very hard for them to read a room. So the challenges of being in a room full of people, you'll obviously be able to help them with that as well, because social life could perhaps be very different, or being in a crowd or at a train station or the underground. What you do will also help them, not just as for themselves, for one-to-one and work, but being in that crowd, reading a room and assessing what's going on without panicking. Would they? How does that work with you?
We need to see if it's a sensory thing or an emotional thing,
Yeah.
or a social intelligence, emotional intelligence that we find sometimes with Asperger or ASD, autism spectrum. But if it's a sensory thing, there are a lot of things that can be done. For example, the best person to talk to is a occupational therapist that
Mm,
specializes in sensory diets. Sensory diets are what we consume with our five senses, because I
mm-hmm.
also say our thoughts as well, what we are thinking and what content we are consuming. But with our five senses, maybe they need to have a fidgeting or acupuncturing, acupressuring, or have chewing gum, or having looms, noise cancelling headphones, or listening to music to feel
Mm.
more grounded, because they are very sensitive to the environment. That could be too much. So is it a sensory thing? Is it an emotional thing? There is trauma based in the
Mm,
past. They were
mm.
ashamed, they shared their opinions. So in that case, therapy could be good. So we need
And
to
could you help somebody, say, a young adult, say, who has even been sectioned because it's so extreme? You know, can you help somebody? Because that's so sad. Who's that? I don't want to say bad, but that challenged with this.
Mhm. It depends if they want to work towards that and how willing they are and the effort they put before, during, and after the coaching. But everyone is different. There could be many different reasons why they feel like that. But
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
how
emotional
can
skills,
yeah? So how can neurodiverse people work one to one with you, Anna?
they can contact me through my website, annadaphna.com,
Mm-hmm.
and they can ask for a complimentary consultation to
Yeah.
see if we're a good fit with each other, and if I think we're a good fit, I can suggest the best program that could be suitable for that person.
Fantastic. Really fantastic. For such a young woman, your knowledge and your skill sets are amazing, and you are doing such important and wonderful work. And I really applaud you for what you do and how you help people.
Thank you.
I'm sure our audience is as excited to learn as I am. If you have 3 top tips or one takeaway that you'd like to share.
I don't have a song. I remember you told me, but I forgot.
No, you have to come up with one.
I have
Especially
only
as music is one of the things that you use for people. But yes, so go on. Do you have a top tip?
top tip I have, yes. Embrace adversity, because the more we embrace adversity, the more we become to be ourselves.
Yes, yes.
So
What doesn't
things
kill us
just,
makes us stronger,
yeah,
as they
and
used to say.
things get easier. Things get easier. If, for example, a neurodiverse student is at school, it's difficult to go through the GCSEs is the first gate. But after that, A levels is a
Mm,
bit easier because you have less subject, your choice. And then
mm-hmm,
if you choose university, it's a bit easier, of course, if the university is supportive, but because you choose one subject that you're really happy to do, happy to study, and also you can have your own business, you can get life
mm,
experience and find a
mm,
company that is neurodiverse friendly, and things get easier.
mm.
And I think awareness is key, awareness and support.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
awareness. That's so with the mental toughness. I'm a partner with AQR, and they have a very special or different psychometric test because they believe self-awareness is absolutely key, and we need to tap into that. So their MTQ plus test works with accesses how we think, not just how we behave. So it's absolutely fantastic for self-awareness. Um,
Yeah.
so you don't have a piece of music for us? Can you think of anything that just quickly comes to mind that I mean, maybe not everybody is sort of turned on by music. So
Unfortunately, I forget the names. I have terrible working memory, but I remember faces and
yes,
that.
yes. Oh, well, not to worry. Shall I say one?
Yeah.
Now I think it's Aloe Black and is I'll do it my way. I'm going to do it
Ah,
my way, which seems to
yeah.
me to be a really good fit for this and for what you do. And it's a wonderful, uplifting piece of music. I'll send you in an email a link to it if you don't know it, because I've got goosebumps because that just came because I think it's a great fit. But
Yeah,
Anna, thank you so much. You have been truly inspiring with what you say, and so calmly and gently and beautifully. I'm sure there will be many people and parents who would absolutely love to be in touch with you. So just say your website again, please.
it's annadaphna.com.
Okay, and that's ANNADAPHNA. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So stay with me, please. Don't go away. If you found this episode enjoyable and inspiring and so enlightening, feel free to share it with your family and friends. And if you'd like to be a guest, let me know.